first episode of podcast Period Zero, a space where we explore inspiring journeys of our school alumni, parents, teachers, and members of NRC's family who shaped our learning community. I am your host Nirmika Parikshale from class 84, and today we have someone extremely special, NRC's very own Miss Vanshika Shukla. Miss Vanshika Shukla is currently pursuing Bachelor of Fine Arts in Applied Art, majoring in graphic design, and she is also a passionate writer. Vanshika, welcome to Period Zero.
Thank you. I am really excited to be here.
Before we get into the main conversation, I have a fun icebreaker for you. You have to answer quickly. First thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Yes, ready.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Sketchbook or iPad?
Sketchbook.
Song for instant motivation.
Ruk Jana Nahi.
If creativity was a color, what color would it be and why?
If creativity was a color, then I would probably choose a blue because everything which is endless, such as an ocean and water, it is blue. So for me, creativity is endless opportunity of the ocean. So it's definitely blue.
Your favorite corner at NRC school when you were a student?
When I was a student, the favorite corner of mine was definitely a drawing hall because in a drawing hall everything was used to be so creative. So it's a drawing hall.
Now we know the creative brain behind the design.
Thank you.
Let's go back to your school days at NRC. What kind of student were you?
As I remember, I used to be a very talkative student. You know, the kind of student teachers just come and say, shut up and focus on your studies. I still remember when I was in school, I was not very fond of studies, honestly speaking, because as much as I remember, I used to be the first bencher and also a backbencher. So I was in the middle of those two benches. Okay, my sister was also in NRC, and she was and is very sincere. But whereas me, I was totally opposite, and today also I am very opposite of her. So in my school days, I used to be the notorious kind of student, and from first to eighth standard, as I think I never really focused on studies. Yet I used to score a good marks, but yes, I was never really fond of studies. But whereas I was very interactive when it comes upon the activity, activities such as in sports, then the allocation competition, and even though I used to have the stage fear, the standing in front of the people and then delivering the speech, but still, I was very fond of activities and participating in every kind of an activity. So teachers used to know me for participating in every kind of an activities, but also as a student who is not very studious kind of student. And even back then, I used to decorate the board and then draw a doodles on the board. So from that days only, I was very fond of the creativity. And even though I was not from very studious kind of background, teachers still used to love me for my creativity and then my spirit for being so active in the different kind of an activities. So yes, you can say I was in between of first and last bench. I was a notorious student, but also a kind of a student who was very active in participating in different kind of activities. So yes.
That's nice. Okay, you knew that art and creativity would be your career?
Yes, definitely.
So what are your future plans after your graduation?
As I already said that I am in my final year of college. After graduation, I am looking for masters. That is the master in design. It is also called as an MDes. And I am preparing for and hoping for the best that I would get into an IIT Bombay. It's a particular cell like the IDC. Okay, it's a branch of a design of an IIT Bombay. So I'm looking forward to get into that college, and in masters I'm thinking to pursue the communication design. In communication design, there is the mixture of the way the communication works from visual aspect and from advertising and branding. So for now, I'm thinking about pursuing my masters in from an IDC.
That's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Where do you see yourself after 10 years?
As I said, I want to pursue an master's in advertising. I see myself as a great advertiser to whom the advertising I make, the people should feel very relatable to my advertisements. And also, I see myself as a public speaker because in an advertising we learn how to communicate. So I see myself as an advertiser and also a public speaker.
You're back to NRC after almost a decade. What differences do you notice?
So the major difference I see here is the exposure the school is providing to the students. When we were in the school, I never really get this kind of an exposure, and even I am jealous of few students because when I was in school, NRC school was always in good school. Okay, but now it is totally on a different level. Like whether it is in infrastructure, whether it is in providing an opportunity to the students, it is like totally different level because now as I go in a main Bombay area, it is a silent and a polished area. So when I see the students of those school, I just feel so happy for my school because the school is so much developed today. The exposure the students are getting in every kind of field, like they are not just focused on the studies, they are focused on almost every aspect of a life, whether it is in music, whether it is in art, whether it is sports and activities. Like students here are not only focused on studies, they are focused into a different aspect of a life, and in everything is just growing too much rapidly, because if you are too much into studies right now in this era, you have to do something more because everyone is learning from the same book you are learning. Okay, so NRC school is now providing various kind of an activities to our students which help them to develop a confidence which is very important in this era. So when I see NRC school today, I just feel so happy for you students, and I feel so hopeful because the student who are in current, like who are studying in current in an NRC school, they are not just going to become a doctor and engineer. The NRC school is producing an artist, a musician, a sport, an athlete. So I just feel so happy and proud that I'm a student of this school.
Yes, I totally agree. We are getting all kinds of opportunities. For our listeners, could you explain what applied art or graphic design means?
Okay, so basically applied art is not a kind of art which is always an aesthetically pleasing. It is, but it works mostly in the form of the functionality, you see. Like it is not just a kind of an art we see and say, oh wow, it is beautiful. No, it is from a functional point of view, okay? And applied art is a very big sector in which there are different fields such as in illustrations, typography, photography, and then comes to a graphic design. And a graphic design or even a applied art, it is the kind of an art which is a kind of a visual communication. You see, where the communication is done without using of the words. The communication is done on the base of the visuals, typography, and illustrations. So yes, basically the communication is done by the means of and visuals or images, icons, logo. So this is applied arts, and applied art helps you to solve the problem of your real life. So yes, it is an applied art.
Okay. You mentioned that design isn't just making things beautiful but also solving problems. Can you give an example where your design actually helps someone?
Okay, yes. So I have really interesting example on this. First of all, as we know, the other countries are using the Indian motifs, then the Indian art in their own products, and it is like really going crazy. People are crazy about the Indian designs. So first of all, what I experienced, the problem was students or anyone who like a drawing and design, they just used to go on the Pinterest, on any kind of an app or Google, they used to just copy. So it was a mechanism, like people go on the YouTube, saw the drawing and they just copy. They never really knew about what is the culture behind that drawing, what is an art, how it is bring up in a particular form. Okay, so I conducted a workshop which is named as a creative learning workshop in an NRC school only. So here I taught them, like for example, the Madhubani painting, Varli painting. So I taught them where it is originated from, what colors were used, why specifically only those colors were used. And then I told them like where these designs could be used in real life. And I was really expecting students to use it and in a real life.
That's great. I like creativity, but some of my friends think that they are not creative. What would you say to them?
Okay, so first of all, being creative was and is never about being perfect. Creativity is always about exploring new things. Creativity is about being curious. And to them who think they are not creative, I want to tell that creativity is not just an inbuilt talent. Creativity is nourishing your skills. So just be yourself and don't wait for things to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be creative. You just have to start.
You said something powerful. How is creative learning different from traditional learning?
Okay. So creative learning was and is never really about taking pen and paper, writing notes down. Creative learning is about experimenting, taking risks. Creative learning is never really care about what your marks is. Creative learning is more interesting and engaging way to learn from.
Many students face stress and pressure with studies. How can creative learning help them?
Okay, so creative learning helps to reduce our stress because it shifts a focus from performance to being an expressive. In creative learning, we teach how to express yourself, storytelling, culture. So students don't care about the marks. They try to explore them. They try to explore the ideas, which gives them freedom to think out of the box and in fun and loving way. This is how creative learning helps them to reduce the stress and engage in more interesting way.
How do you see AI working with creativity? Does it help or it threaten artists?
Okay, so first of all, I don't see AI as a threat because AI is tool and the AI feeds upon the human brain. We humans operate AI and the AI works on the data we provide it to AI, right? So I see AI as a helpful tool because it reduces the time and AI provides you it provides you the layouts, then the typography, which fonts will go with which things, basically about the process. But AI cannot replace the human thinking. AI cannot replace the experience you have because the ideas come from the experiences you build throughout your journey. So I don't see AI as a threat, rather I see it as a useful tool.
Should students start exploring digital tools where they can start?
Okay, so yes, they should start exploring a digital tool as design industry is rapidly growing. But apart from a digital tool, first the student should learn about the basic fundamentals of the design. Then they should go for the digital tools, and for starting, I guess the Canva is best, and as well as the Canva there is an AI app known as a Perplexity. So Canva and Perplexity works best for the beginners and for the students.
When you watch our school journey and activities on social media, how does it make you feel?
Okay. So when I watch NRC school social media platform, it just makes me feel overwhelmed, happy, positive and very energetic because they balance both the studies as well as the creative aspect of the students' life. They help students to explore themselves, they help students by providing and various opportunities so they can grow. So it makes me feel so happy.
Before we wrap up, what is one message you like to give us?
Okay, so if you are thinking to pursue a career in a creativity, I would like you to start in this very moment. Don't wait for the permission to start, don't wait for being a perfect. Just go for it and be creative, explore ideas, fail, but try again.
Thank you so much, Vanshika, for sharing your journey and energy with us. We are proud of you and excited to see where your creativity takes you next.
Thank you so much.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on Period Zero. Stay curious, stay creative, and we will meet again in the next episode.